Hey guys, today I'm filming my monthly makeup ranking for June. I'm really excited to review all these products to you. Before we get into it, I wanted to show you guys my hair. So it is basically the same color I had before, but I finally refreshed it. We've got no roots yet, although my hair grows very fast. So in about 2 weeks, we will see roots, but that's okay. I feel so much better without like that, like roots down to here. Like that's just ugly. My natural hair color is very ugly. So I feel so much better. So I'll show you guys in my sample project pan video / monthly empties what I used because it was great. I'm happy with the results. So anyway, on to this video. It's going to be long. I have 20 products to review for you and I will be ranking them worst to best from 20 to 1, but I also like to split these up into favorites, fine, and fails like Samantha March did in the past with her monthly reviews, and that just makes it a little bit easier for me to rank products. It's gotten easier as I've done it, but I had a hard time at first ranking things that are different types of products, like a foundation compared to a face palette. So I've gotten quite a hold of it by now, but basically I have 5 fails, 10 fine, and 5 favorites, and I will be decluttering or returning several things that I'm talking about today. Some of them I already have, so I will be inserting pictures of the screen for whichever items I no longer have, and we will just get started with number 20, which would be the Milani Cream 2 Powder Foundation. I had the shade Warm Porcelain. It actually looked very orange in the pan, but as soon as I swatched it and like broke up that top layer, an actual like more appropriate skin tone color came through, which was nice. And I purchased this because this was supposed to be a good alternative to the Kat Von D Good Apple foundation that people had been loving on TikTok, and this was just terrible. And I bought it because some people said that this was actually like more mattifying, better for oily skin. It looked so bad on me, so I tried to apply this with a brush, the sponge it came with, and a regular beauty sponge. A regular beauty sponge definitely worked the best. I was able to get some coverage and it blended a little bit better when I used the brush. Tons of brush strokes and streaks, I should say. And then the little puff that it came with, it did apply product, but it didn't blend it nicely. And the beauty sponge definitely worked the best, but you're going to have to wash it every single day, which you should do with your sponge anyway. I definitely don't. I wash my sponge like every week and a half probably. It depends on the foundations that I'm using really, but it definitely caked up my sponge and I really couldn't go over the same place twice or it would pick up on itself. It really did accentuate dryness, which is weird because I don't really have much dryness, and it looked terrible. It took a lot of powder for it to set down, and I had actually missed some spots, and then my blush bronzer went on patchy on top of it. So you do definitely, or at least me, I had to make sure that it was set, and it was really hard to pick up on my sponge and on the brush, which was weird because when I swatched it, it felt thin, but it was terrible. Okay, it did not apply easily, it did not look good, and the wear was not great either. So I don't care what your skin type is, I don't recommend that. There are other things out there that probably work similarly, so absolutely not. The next thing, which is a real big bummer, my next 3 least favorites would be the Sigma lip care products. I got these in PR from Look Fantastic. I picked them out myself and I don't like any of them, and I feel like Karen Harris didn't like one or all of these, and I can't remember if I saw her review before or after I picked these out because I've had them for a couple months. Anyway, they're not good, which is such a shame. I love trying out lip balm. So number 19 would be their conditioning lip mask. So I do like the packaging. It's a squeeze tube. It has that metal tip, so it's supposed to be cooling, which is cool under your eyes. I don't know why that like matters on your lips, but it is nice. It makes it feel a little fancier. This is like a really thick product, but it almost feels like a thick gloss, not like a thick balm. Like I was thinking this would feel like the Bite Agave lip mask in their squeeze tube, which is like thick and more hydrating. This is not that. It's just thick as it wears on, it gets a little goopier, a little stickier, and after you wipe it off, your lips are definitely sticky, and I don't feel like this is hydrating at all. Next, for number 18, would be their hydrating lip gloss. This is in the shade Glazed, and this does have shimmer in it, but it feels gritty on your lips, which is very annoying. It has a shine to it, which is pretty, but there are other glosses I can use for a shine that I do find to be hydrating-ish for a gloss that aren't gritty. Then for 17, this is not terrible, but it's just okay. This is the Moisturizing Lip Balm. And this actually, I feel like, is almost like a pH lip balm. Like, it does give a little bit of color once you put it on, like a little bit of like a pink shade to it, but this has a thin consistency. It's comfortable, but I don't feel like it's hydrating at all. I would rather use my EOS lip balms over this one. So these I really don't like. This one just didn't do anything. So no, do not pick up those lip care products from Sigma. And then my last fail was really right there teetering on fail and fine, and that would be the Kat Von D Shade and Light duos. I got the lightest duo that had the cream under eye shade and then like the more cool tone contour color, and I've never tried the full contour kit before. I love that they have come out with the duos. I think it took them a really long time to do so. I know they've been out for a while, but it's nice that they've done the duos now, but no. So I actually don't really mind powdery cheek products. They don't really bother me that much. Oh my goodness, these were so powdery. Just tapping my brush in them, kick up everywhere. It just looked very powdery under my eyes, like a lot of product. It wasn't as brightening as I thought it would be. And then the contour color was just a little bit more cool tone than I tend to like. And because it was so powdery, I just felt like it looked a little patchy on my face. And I don't know if it was just a little unflattering because of the color or if it was the product and the way it blended out, but I just did not like the color. The formula was really annoying to work with. It made a big old mess, so it went back. So now we're into the fine category with number 15, which would be the Sephora Give Me Some Lip Balm set, and I was really excited for this. It's normally $30. It was on sale for $21, which is actually cheaper than one of the full-size products, which is the Pat McGrath Lip Fetish Vinyl Lip Shine in Nude Venus. So this comes with 5 products. You get that full-size Pat McGrath, a full-size Sephora Coconut Lip Balm, and then you get deluxe size minis of the Ilia Lip Wrap Clean Hydrating Lip Mask, the Fresh Rose Lip Balm that's like in a tub, and the Tarte C Jelly Glaze Lip Mask in Strawberry Jelly. So I purchased a set for the Pat McGrath and for the Ilia. For the Sephora product, it's a lip balm and a scrub, so I figure it's not going to be scrubby enough. I also don't love coconut. Then the Tarte lip mask, I don't like strawberry scents except for the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask and Berry. I've come around to that one, but in general, I only like mint lip products. And then the Fresh, I smelled it. It smelled way too much like rose. I hate the smell of rose. So I figured I would only use it for the Pat and for the Ilia, and I was definitely right. But the price was still great just for those two for me. So I tried the Ilia, and this is actually a coupon code right now as well if you're just wanting to try the Ilia. So it was a little bit thick, but it had a bit of a slip to it. But the more it wore, it felt a little goopier on the lips, and it wasn't hydrating. And I'm really bad about using potted lip balms, and I like the Laneige better than this one, so I would rather spend my time using that. And it didn't have much of a scent, but I didn't love the scent that it had. And then for that Pat McGrath Lip Shine in Nude Venus, pretty color, but honestly, as soon as I put it on, I was like, oh, okay, this is basically Revlon Lip Butter and Peach Parfait, which was one of my favorite lip products of all time when I first got into lip products in 2010, 2011. But no, you can feel the glitter in it. It has like a thicker slippy, balmy consistency. It was pretty, but I just didn't think I was gonna reach for it enough to justify the price of, well, really not even justify the price for having this set, because it's a great price, even just considering the value of that Pat McGrath. It's a great price. So if you think that you will use the balms, I definitely say go for it. It just wasn't for me. I just got too excited about this set when I should have known that it wouldn't be for me. So definitely depends on your preference in scents of lip products, I would say, and if you think you'll use that Pat McGrath. But for me, no, thank you. And then for number 14 is the Pure 4-in-1 Pressed Mineral Makeup. I have the shade LG2 Light Porcelain, which is the second golden warm tone shade. This is, just no. This is so dry, okay? There are all these little bumpies on here. Okay, you can see it. In what world is this a powder foundation? I could not build this up to save my life. And I have another powder foundation that I am comparing it to. And I know that this one has been out for a lot longer. And this is pressed mineral makeup. This does not say pressed powder. It's supposed to be a powder foundation. I would apply my primer and then put this right on top while the primer still has some tack to it so I can make it stick, hopefully give me some more coverage. No, looked very dry. It applied very unevenly, and I tried it with a couple different brushes. No, I also tried this today. I'm wearing it as a setting powder, but I actually set my face with something else and then put this on top. It doesn't do anything. This is a setting powder, and even still, it's really like that's not enough for me. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? So basically, the other day, my cheek products looked a little bit too heavy, so I went over with light dusting of this, and it helped blend it out a little bit without wiping it away. So part of me might keep it around for that, but you guys also know I don't really love pressed powders. I want to get my collection of powders down. So I'm going to think about it. I might see if my friend Jean wants this, and if she does, I'll give it to her. If not, I think I'll keep it for a little bit more and see if I want to keep it just to, you know, blur out other products. But this is terrible. This is not a powder foundation. I don't even like this for a pressed powder. Really, just after you use it a couple times, it gets bumps on it. It's very dry. Just like, this is terrible. No. And I know a lot of people used to like this, but like, especially compared to the other powder foundation I have here, like, awful. No. And it's in the fine category, probably just because it was for free, honestly. This was a Ulta free gift this year, and I was really excited about it, but that's probably the reason it's just fine. I feel like I'm talking about it so passionately, maybe it should have been a fail. And then the next product is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Foundation. And I have tried the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, the Matte CC Cream, the Bye Bye Foundation, Bye Bye Foundation Matte, and then now the Your Skin But Better Foundation. The Bye Bye Foundation Matte is one of my top 3 foundations. I love it. The other 3 did not work for me. And I don't know why I keep trying these IT Cosmetics foundations. I guess because I have one that I really love and people rave about the brand. I want to make it work for me and they just don't. So I heard so many people talk about this foundation. I specifically bought it because Casey Holmes talked about it, and she also has oily skin. But guys, this did not give much coverage. I'd say it was like a light medium, and it was not really buildable. I was applying with my sponge and it was lifting off itself. It was leaving sponge marks on my face, which I don't really have happen. And even with a clean sponge, it was doing this. And that was so annoying. It didn't look very nice on the skin because it did look a little bit uneven. It was not really the most long wearing. Just no, like I thought it was gonna give more coverage, be easier to apply, look better on the skin. No. Don't recommend that. So for 12, 11, and 10, I have brow products, and these kind of fell in the middle just because they're not the most exciting thing in general. But my lowest rated would be the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I bought this last year in the 21 Days of Beauty, and I'm just getting around to trying it now. So it comes with this twist up waterproof pencil, which is a nice micro style pencil. Then you have the ink stain on the other side, and this does have a brush tip applicator, not a felt tip applicator, which is nice because it makes it look a little bit more natural. And I have the shade Taupe Trap, which is the best shade for me from the Urban Decay line, but it's a little bit more cool tone than I like. But I am wearing this on my brows today, and I think it looks fine. My brows are looking very bold. I would say that the pencil is very pigmented and very creamy. I didn't think the other pencils I had been using were waxy, but in comparison, they're a little bit more waxy. This is definitely more creamy, so I do need to try to blend this out more. But basically, I'm lining my brows and then filling them in with this, and it does work very well. But in general, like, the ink stain thing is just not for me. I wear blocky brows like this. I don't know how to do it otherwise. I have tried. I don't like the way it looks on me. I can't figure out how to apply it and have it look natural. I'm missing so much hair in the front that I feel like I do need to draw it on with a pencil. Angelica Nyqvist has the best fluffy brow look ever, and I know she uses a brow tint pen. Her brows look amazing. I wish that I could do that, but I just can't figure out how to do it and make it look good on me. Not that this necessarily looks good. I like it, but I know that a lot of people don't like this style. So it's not a bad product. I think it works very well. It just doesn't fit my brow style. So I will use it up, but I won't repurchase it. Then the next product up from this would be the NYX brow marker that, again, a lot of people raved about on TikTok. I think that ink stain works just as well as the Urban Decay. So if you're just wanting to try an ink stain, I would say to get the NYX. I also think that the blonde shade worked better for me than this. It's not orangey, which can happen with some blonde shades, but it was a better shade for me. This one almost looked a little green in comparison, but I think it looks fine on my brows today. But the NYX was a better shade for me. It applied just as well. It was long lasting. I think that is a great quality product, but again, it's just not the type of thing. Like, I wanted that to be a brow style I could pull off, and I just can't figure it out yet. So hopefully by the time I use this one up, I'll play around with that style a bit more. But like I said, if you're just looking for the ink stain, definitely pick up the NYX. I'm not sure product wise what has more or less, but I will say for this being a dual-ended product, usually that means the pencil is going to be pretty small, but I don't think it is. You actually get a lot of product in the pencil. And again, this is a micro pencil, so it doesn't look like a lot, but it actually is a pretty good amount. And then the next product up, I didn't put numbers on my phone, so they're going to be on the screen. I don't know where I'm at. This is the Milk Kush Fiber Brow Gel. I have the shade Haze, which is the warm tone blonde color. And I did use this to set my brows today. And compared to the Benefit Gimme Brow Gel, which is my favorite tinted brow gel, this definitely deposits a lot more product. It's a little bit wetter. I feel like it has less fibers than the Benefit one does. And I definitely am liking it now, but when I first applied it, there was a lot of product in the wand and my brows definitely looked goopy, and the color looked funny just because there was too much product in my brows. But I think it looks fine now. I've gotten used to it. I think that this holds fine, but I also don't have very unruly brows. Like, my brow hairs kind of just like stay where you put them, which is very fortunate. I know not everybody has that. So I think that this is fine. I will not repurchase. I do still prefer the Benefit for the color and the way it looks. Again, this can look like a lot of product because it is so wet, but it's not bad. On to number 9. This is from the Tarte Holiday blush set from last year. It was called the Blush Authority, and this stack is called Yours Truly, Into You, and Playtime. And here what the colors look like. They're very, very pretty. This one has shimmer in it. These two are mattes, and the one with the shimmer I wish was a little bit more matte, but it's not terrible. But I actually really do like these shades. I think they're very, very pretty. But in general, I do wish that I just didn't buy this set. I didn't need them. They are a little bit bulky. I know, like, I get what they were doing with the packaging, but I wish they didn't do it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like this was just like an impulse buy because I was able to get on sale. I like the Tarte blushes, and these are the Amazon Clay formula, but I think that they're easier to use because they don't have that like imprint on them. And I think the originals can be like a little bit firmly pressed. So these are easier to apply. They wear nicely. They're pretty colors, but I'm just like, like, I'm not going to get rid of this yet, but I would be fine if I never had that in my collection. The next product that's just so-so would be the Too Faced Sugar Peach Wet and Dry Face and Eye Palette. So in here you get one highlighter and 3 blushes. I really do like the highlight here. It's a really pretty shade and it gives some nice reflective glow on the skin. I do like the blushes in here as well. I did wear all of them. This one is like a matte with glitter, and then these are 2 pretty shimmery blushes. So if you have a lot of texture on your skin, I don't think this would be the most flattering, but I think that they look very pretty. I did enjoy using this. It's great quality. It does have that like candied peach scent, which I like it in other products, but for some reason I didn't enjoy it in this palette. This performs very well, pigmented, blends nicely. I think this is nice, but I don't love it as much as I thought I would, and I also could do without this in my collection, but I'm not in a rush to get rid of it. The next product is the Kat Von D Everlasting Blush in Honeysuckle, and I got this half off. And the packaging is a rose. It is very KVD aesthetic, and this is a very pretty neutral blush. It's like a neutral peachy shade. It's a matte blush, a little powdery but not too bad. I think that this looks really pretty in the skin, gives just the right amount of color that would be nice with a really intense eye look, something warm especially, or if you're just wanting a light flush of color on the cheeks. Did I need this? No. I thought about returning it just because I didn't need it, but I do like this. So I originally had another blush shade from this line on my wish list, and now I would only get that one if it was half off. Nothing's wrong with this formula. I think it's fine, but I also have a lot of blushes. The next product in the fine category I think is a little blasphemous, and I understand if you're upset with me for saying this is fine, but it's right there on that line of fine and favorite. This is number 6. And that would be the Glamlite Ice Cream Dream palette. So I did only wear this one 3 times, and I did a colorful, like brighter pinky orange look, one using these pastel-y blue, green, and purple. I had recreated a tutorial from Angelica Nyqvist, and then I did do more of a warm tone look. And not all of these metallics, but especially the warm metallics, almost feel like a ColourPop Super Shock shadow. They feel like a little bit of a putty texture, which I was not expecting, but they do look super foil on the lid. They did apply pretty easily. The mattes in here I think are very pigmented. They blend nicely. I really enjoyed them. I wish there were a few more neutral mattes, but I get that this is a colorful palette. And when I did Angelica's look, which was these 3 shimmers here, the shimmers worked great, and then these 3 mattes, this minty matte showed up very well. It was very pigmented, but this blue and purple, I really had to build them up, and I know that those are hard colors to formulate. I feel like whenever any brand has done them, or like majority of brands have done them, they leave a bit to be desired. They can be a little patchy, a little sheer. So they did require a lot of building. And then I was trying to just blend them together very lightly. So I was a little disappointed with those mattes, especially because I felt like they showed up more on Angelica than they did when I was working with them. And then I was so excited to create more of a watermelon look with this palette using this shade on the lid. It's a beautiful watermelon shade, but I don't know if you can see, but applied on the eye, there actually is like a hot pink flash to it, which I didn't notice and I did not like, because that was very noticeable on the eye. It looked like I was wearing a hot pink shadow, which is not what I wanted. I wanted it to be this more watermelon shade to pair with like these colors here. And I thought the look was fine, but it was not what I was looking for. So I was a bit disappointed by that. There's definitely a lot more shades to play with in here. I definitely don't regret buying this. I know I'm a neutral person in general, so it's gonna take me, well, so I get why I wouldn't call this a favorite, because I'm not gonna use it as much as some of these others. Quality was great. Those couple pastels was a little disappointed in, but I know that they're hard to make in general. But other than that, I was really impressed with the quality of this, and I definitely want to play around with this more. I do not regret having it. So now we are up to my 5 favorites, and I really say I love all of these about equally, but I did rank them. So for number 5, that would be something that is hard to open, which is annoying. That would be the Cosmetics Divine Skies Magic Hour palette. So they now have, well, Faded Clementine's been out for a while, but they recently released Venetian Rose, which is so exciting. And I do actually plan on buying the 2 of those Black Friday this year, along with some other products. But I know that Tara Brooke has loved this, has been trying to pan it this year, and I've really enjoyed using this. So you do have 3 shimmers and 3 mattes. So I did create 3 looks with this palette. I used every single matte and then just a different shimmer in each of the looks, and I really enjoyed this. I think that the shimmers do provide a nice metallic sheen on the lid. They're not a foiled shadow, but they are very shimmery. I think that this is such like an easy wearable everyday look. Very beautiful. Mattes are pigmented, they blend nicely. This is very nice quality. I don't know why mine is hard to open. I don't know if they're all that way, but like you guys know, I love these type of colors. So this is definitely a win in my book. Number 4 is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. This is the Too Faced Teddy Bear palette, and I was interested in this when it launched, but then Emily Noel talked so highly about this that I really wanted to get it because I am a neutrals girl, and I think I've worn all the shades in this palette except for this dark brown here, but I've used all of the other shades. And I definitely feel like these 2 are a little bit similar and not necessary. And then you do have a couple different browns, but I feel like you can see that these 2 are lighter. Like this is warmer, that's rosier, and then these are 2 dark browns, but again, this is a little rosier. And then you have 4 shimmers in here, so I did create 4 looks with this palette. So this one and this one are more of like a foiled chunky shadow, and then you've got these 2 which are very shimmery but a little bit smoother. These 2 larger shades I actually loved using as like transition crease colors. I used them a lot. So here's what my eye look is today, and I am wearing this shimmer on my lid, and you can hopefully see that this is pretty shimmery. It is a little foiled. And what I do with all of my shimmer shades is I will apply a layer with my brush, and then after I finish off the rest of my shadow, I will apply another layer with my finger. Built up so nicely. Very beautiful. The shades applied very well. The mattes were a little powdery, but in a good way. They were very pigmented. They blended nicely. I really do love this palette. I love all the looks I created with it, and I do see myself reaching for a ton. Again, like I said, I love these 2 bigger shades. This like corally color I think is very beautiful. I like this color a lot. Love all the shimmers. Like I said, these 2 are a little bit repetitive. I see the differences between them, but I don't necessarily think you need both of them in here. I wish that they had, swapped this one out for a different shimmer, or for an extra shimmer, I should say. But I really enjoy the quality of this palette. It does bother me that the packaging is not the same size as like the chocolate bar palettes, but it's super cute. I do enjoy it. Smells a little bit like a Teddy Graham cookie, I guess. I do really enjoy that one. I would recommend that palette. Number 3, I'm wearing on my cheeks today. This is the Sigma Corte Rosa blush palette. I have worn all 6 shades. So you have 4 mattes and 2 shimmers in here. I'm wearing the darker shimmer today, which is called Bronze Star. And my favorite brush to use with these would be the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe JH04, my everything brush. I think that just picks up like a light amount of blush, diffuses it nicely, which was definitely great for me because these are very pigmented, and some of these shades, especially these four are a little bit deeper for my skin tone, but I loved every single one of these. You guys know I don't love pink blush, but this is a very pretty warm pink, very pigmented. They blended nicely, so beautiful. I love that this is nice and compact, and I think this is a really pretty blush palette because the shades do look distinctly different from one another. I at least think so, but they all, you know, go together very cohesively in this palette. Great quality. I absolutely love this, and I would love for Sigma to come out with some more blush palettes in the future, but this is phenomenal, and I think Sigma has been doing such a great job with their releases this year. I know I did not like that Lip Mask Trio, but their other palettes that they've come out with seem to be really great. I have some more that I need to test. I haven't tried yet, but Sigma quality is so good. Highly recommend that. I can already tell you that's going to be in my summer favorites, but probably my yearly favorites as well. And then favorite number 2 would be the Alamar Spanglish palette, and the Reina del Caribe is such a good palette. The formulas are incredible, so I was really excited to finally use this one. So in similar Alamar fashion, you've got 4 shimmers and then 4 mattes, and I created 3 looks with this one, but I used all of the shades. So in each of my looks, I swapped out a shimmer, but then used all 4 mattes. And then when I did my purple look, I used this on the first 2/3 of my lid, and then this one on the outer third of my lid. But I love this peach matte. Is so my type of shade. I love that for a transition color. I actually really liked this fuchsia color in the outer corner. I think it blended really nicely. I used just a light amount of this to give a bit of a wash, and it was really beautiful. I don't love this brown. It's a little too cool tone for me for the other shades in this palette. I wish that this was like the same depth, but a bit more of a warm undertone. I think it would work nicely, and that's why I did pair it with this orange, which is also not my favorite orange color, but I did usually do like transition, mix these 2 for crease, and then this one outer corner, and it worked nicely. And I think that these shimmers actually felt, especially the purples, felt a little bit dry when I was swatching them, but they did not look dry on the lids, which was good. But I really love this orange shade and this red shade here. I think that they are so stunning. They both have a bit of a flip to them, especially that orange, and I loved that color so much. I will go ahead and swatch that one. Yeah, it does feel a little bit dry, but it's incredibly pigmented. And there's what that shade looks like. I just loved it on my lid. Again, paired with that peachy shade, which I'll swatch too. I just love peach eyeshadows. So there's the 2 of those. Absolutely love this. Great quality. I love the looks that I created. Like I said, I wish that brown was a little warmer, but I think that they all worked well and nicely in the look. And then my number 1 favorite of the month would be the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Powder Foundation. I have the shade number 10 Porcelain. It matches me so well. It is nice and fair with a yellow undertone. This has been super raved about on TikTok, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna love this because you guys know I love full coverage foundation, so powder foundation is not typically something that I would go for, but I did enjoy this. So I tried applying it with the sponge it came with, which I do think applied it nicely, but my favorite way to apply it is with this Hourglass brush. I will leave the specific name of this down below. I remember I got this in an influencer box with the Vanish foundation stick, and I ended up giving away the foundation, but I kept the brush. This is a very, very dense brush, which is so good because if you're using a brush that has a bit more fluff to it, you're not going to get as much like dense even coverage as you would with something like this. So this brush really was perfect, and I did get a lot of kick up when I was using this powder with this brush, but that was okay. So again, I did apply my face primer all over and then go right in with the powder foundation just to have it have something to stick to, try to make it go on evenly, and it did do a very nice job. So I would just conceal a bit under my eyes. At first I tried highlighting the center of my face with concealer, and then I didn't like the way that this sat on top of it very much. And this does have so much coverage to it, it took away the highlighted effect. So I just did my concealer under my eyes. This has a little bit of like a florally smell to it, which I don't love, but I don't notice it too much. This looks so pretty on the skin. It does give like really nice full coverage, but it does not look too powdery. I would say you should go over top with some sort of facial mist or a setting spray just to help set it into the skin a little nicer. But I could not believe how smooth and poreless and perfected my skin looked with this. It was not the primer, it was just this powder foundation. So even though you guys know that I'm definitely a loose powder girl, I'm so happy to have this. I'm going to use it up, which I think will take me a long time. And I do want to definitely play around with this as a setting powder, but this is incredible. And the reason that this is number one, even though the other things in my favorites were a little bit more exciting, it's just because I didn't really think that I was going to fall in love with this like I have. And this is like so far the one TikTok hyped makeup product that I've tried that I think like is actually worth the hype. So guys, that would be a ranking of all of the new products that I tried this month. 20 different items here. I know this was a long video, so thank you if you stuck through it. And I'm really excited to start testing a new batch of products for July. I also have 20 things that I will be reviewing in my July video, so it's also going to be long, but I've loved these rankings so much. It has made me more excited to wear my makeup and like force myself to put it on, which is great. That's what I need to be doing because I'm still buying makeup, so I at least need to be wearing it as much as I can. So guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on these products in the comments down below. I would also love to hear your favorite and fail products of the month. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.